What is up? We had a pretty chaotic day today. I took three trades. Let's get into each one. So market opened and immediately took out London low. And so at this point, I was looking for us to get a liquidity sweep lower into this huge gap to the left to take us higher. I wanted to see us come up to these new week opening gaps up above. But we didn't get that. So let's go over the trades I did take. So my first trade was on the 30-second time frame. Sorry, the 15-second time frame for the entry, but I noticed that we had come up and we had tapped this first presented fair value gap on the 1 minute, which is a 30-second imbalance on the 30-second time frame. And so once I saw this, I was like, okay, we're probably going to keep displacing lower towards sell side, and we had our equal lows down below and our Asia low overlapped and a 4 hour. So this area down here I had a lot of interest in. So like if we were gonna go up right off the bat, we would have inversed these gaps, but we didn't. So I was like, okay, we're going lower. So dropped the 15-second for precision entry, and we got a beautiful 15-second V shape here. I took stops at the high, full TP. I think my full TP was just here, and then I had the stop here. It's a little bit exaggerated, but I got a 1-to-1 on this. I know I did, and this was a pretty decent win. And then we are now in this 4 hour gap. And so this is where I was like, okay, I'm ready to take longs if they present themselves. If longs are presented. So basically, I first faded this 30-second inversion. I didn't take it just because of how this wick had closed before we had actually inversed it. So I didn't like this close, but obviously it would have been a break-even trade because we would have went break-even up at this high. And then I also faded this 30-second. I just didn't like that close. It's just not textbook. Didn't take that either. What I did end up taking and failed was this long right here. I got in on this 30-second inversion after we had an SMT at the lows here. I wanted just this right here, but what I failed to realize is that we already mitigated this 3-minute gap. So this 3-minute already got mitigated, and so it just made it a lot lower probability that we would actually need to return to this area of imbalance. Whereas if this had not been mitigated at all, this whole thing had not been mitigated at all, I would have been like, okay, this is much higher probability. And then obviously my full take profit would have been that wick that we put into the first presented gap. So this was a good loss, I would say. This will work lots of the time. I just got to pay attention to this not being an unmitigated gap. I liked this as a break-even point. I'm kind of a little bit disappointed it didn't hit, but all in all, not too bad. Okay, not too bad. And then come down here, market was just dumping. So I was like, okay, this is just gonna be one of those crazy dump days. So pretty much this one was a little bit more intuition, but I took this 30-second short. I believe I got in on this 30-second inversion. It may have been a little bit later even once I started to see us displace, but I know I got in around here and I had my stop up here somewhere, and I know I targeted the top of the new week opening gap down here. And that was a pretty good win for my account. So the two wins in this case were a little bit smaller than the loss. The loss I risked a little bit more because I was really confident in it. But that's totally fine because I ended up green on the day. And so this was a pretty good trading day for the eval that I'm working on passing. And then I have a 25K eval that I traded a little bit at school. And what I ended up doing on there, I traded it more than I should have, but we had this huge SIBI from the sell-off, and it's very unlikely that this doesn't get mitigated at some point, and which it did here, you can see. So I had my eyes on this wick here. And because of that, so I had my eyes on that wick, and I had my eyes on this wick, which was low of day. Once we failed to take low of day, and we started displacing back upward, see on the 15-minute, like this, really once I saw this candle close, once I saw, like, just pretend this is inversion. Once I saw this candle close here, I was like, okay, we're definitely going to this 1 hour to mitigate it. So I turned on the PO3 and I waited for a retrace, which we ended up getting this right here. So the first trade I took was hold on, this was here. Yeah. First trade I took was this. Took this 30-second inversion to the upside. It might have been a 1 minute. No, it was 30-second. I took that 30-second inversion to the upside, and went break even at this high, obviously. And so I got stopped out at break even on this trade. I had my stop right below the inversion. Break even trade because of this. And then I was so highly convicted in that hitting because we just got generated liquidity. This is now generated liquidity right here. That range from there to there. And so I was like, okay, I just need one more 30-second inversion. So I get in on this one. This 30-second inversion. And this one takes us straight to the high. And on this one I got about a 1-to-1. I think my stop was just below that gap. So those were the two trades. I'll be honest, I took a couple more through this noise in here, ended up break even, but this got me up slightly on the day on my 25K eval. So that was the trading day. 5 trades in total, although I don't count these later ones in the day on that eval. It's just a 25K that I'm experimenting with. Really what I care about is the market open New York session, and that's where I took these 3 trades. So all in all, a great trading day. We'll be back tomorrow, more responsible trading and hopefully growing every day.